Recently, I was doing my research on Brahma and I found it really fascinating, and I think everyone should know this. So, Brahma built the universe, galaxy, river, and all the living beings. He made it all, but at the height of his power, he lost control of himself. And this is the story of Brahma's fifth head, and it is actually about you. So most of us know that he is known as the creator in Hindu Trinity, and once he was stripped of his fifth head by Shiva himself. But very few people know why and what it means for every single thing you are trying to build, attract, and become. So stay with this. This story has real, deep psychological meaning. So at the dawn of creation, Brahma sat in pure consciousness. No fear, no agenda, no desire. He simply allowed, from that stillness, the universe poured out of him. The mountains, the creature, the entire cosmic order. And this is the state where every artist, every creator, and every founder know, like it is the best moment for them. When ideas come through you, not from you. When you are not thinking, you are receiving. And Brahma was in that state, perfectly free, perfectly open. And from this creative energy, Brahma brought Saraswati, the goddess of art, wisdom, language, and knowledge. She was his finest creation, the embodiment of everything he stood for. And that's where it all went wrong. Now, the moment Saraswati moved, Brahma wanted to see her. He grew second head, facing the direction where the Saraswati was moving. So she moved again, so he got third head. And then she ascended, and then the fourth head came. So here, he got so obsessed with his own creation that he needed to watch her from every direction. So as a result, he grew four head just to track her. So think about this. The creator now was chasing his own creation. Now here is the interesting part. Four heads were not enough. So Saraswati flew up, and Brahma, rather than letting go, grew fifth head, pointing up, tracking her even there. And at this point, something fundamental had shifted. Brahma was no longer creating. He had stopped the very act that defined him. The universe, still half formed, was on pause because the creator had become obsessed with what he had already created. So now he wasn't a god anymore. He was just a man who was scrolling through his old work, unable to move forward. And that's when Shiva arrived. So Shiva is the destroyer, but in Hindu philosophy, destruction is not the opposite of creation. It is a requirement. You cannot build the new house without clearing the land. Now, the fifth head, one that reached upward to possess what has already ascended, was removed. Not all five, just the one head that had crossed the line from witness to captor. So when Shiva stripped off Brahma's fifth head, don't look at it as wrath of God, revenge, or divine judgment, because it has deeper philosophical meaning. Saraswati is not just a goddess. She represents every form of creative intelligence, knowledge, art, language, flow. And these are the forces which move through us. We don't own it. And the moment Brahma tried to own her, to contain knowledge rather than channel it, he became incompetent with creation itself. The creator who clings is no longer creating. And I think I read it somewhere. It says the line between devotion and obsession is not the intensity. It is about direction. One gives energy and other consumes it. So Brahma crossed the line, and Shiva, the cosmic editor, cut the part that had got rogue. And here is perhaps the most striking footnote of the story. Brahma, the creator of the universe, is the least worshipped of Hindu Trinity. Almost no temple, almost no festival in his name. And why is that? Because the creator who gets obsessed with his own creation is not the God who we pray. We respect him, but we don't seek his blessing. We do not ask for his energy, because his energy is not free. It is entangled, and entangled energy cannot flow through you. And in your story, you are the Brahma, and there are three phases of your creative obsession. Three extra heads we grow without realizing it. The first one, overthinking the how. You have decided what you want, but you cannot stop overthinking or engineering the path. You research, you revise the plan, you re-revise the plan, and the plan becomes more real to you than the doing. The second head, controlling the when. You have attached the deadline to your vision, which universe doesn't agree. And every day that passes without meeting the deadline, and it becomes evidence that it is not working, rather than evidence that it is still becoming. The third one, the third head, possessing the outcome. You have already decided what must result look like. Any outcome that doesn't match the picture get rejected, even if it's better. You caged the destination even before the journey has begun. So obsessive attachment not only slows your result, it stops it. Because the energy that should be going into your next act of creation is being consumed by monitoring the last one. Now look at it like this way. Brahma had universe to finish. He stopped finishing it. He was too busy watching what he had already made. So I think antidote for the Brahma's mistake is not the detachment from the beginning. That's not what the story teaches us. The Brahma's first forehead was not the problem. At that point, he was fully present and fully committed. So what it preaches us is like pour everything into the act of creation. Then release the creation from your ownership the moment it's completed. It is like full engagement, full release. Total devotion plus total surrender. Here is the paradox. Every creator, every entrepreneur, and every person that manifested something will recognize. The moment you stop trying to possess the vision starts moving toward you. Not because the universe is magical, or though maybe, because when you are not obsessed about the old thing and you actually notice the next thing arriving, it's totally wild concept. And finally, I would like to say, Brahma wasn't destroyed, he wasn't humiliated, he was corrected. The part of him that served creation, four heads, fully present, those remained. The part that had become about ego and obsession, that was removed. And same thing applies on you. You don't have to burn down your ambition. You just have to cut the head that turned upward. The one watching, calculating, clinging. So keep the four and cut the fifth.